So you're thinking about buying a Harley Benton SC-1000, or maybe you just bought one. There's something you need to know about this guitar. It actually has a critical design flaw, but there is an easy fix, so don't worry. We're going to fix our guitars together. When I bought my Harley Benton SC-1000 in February 2023, I got it out of the box and I drooled over how amazing it looked. But when I tried to play on it after I tuned it up, it was not working. Like, I strummed a chord and these chords were like way out of tune. So I realized, okay, the intonation's not set. That must be the problem, right? A lot of cheap guitars do not have the intonation set because, you know, they're cheap guitars. They don't have the money to pay someone to set it up like they would a nice Gibson or something like that. So unfortunately, you have to do some of the work. But it's worse than that. There's actually a design flaw in the bridge, and we're going to fix it. For those of you who are new to guitar and you've never set one up, I'm going to explain what setting the intonation is briefly, and then we'll get into what you need to do to fix the bridge. Okay, so when you get out your guitar and you tune it, and you get it all nice in tune, if you were to go to play a chord higher on the neck and you hadn't also tuned the bridge, setting the intonation, then your chord's going to be out of tune. It's going to sound really nasty. So you get it out of the box, and what you have to do is you have to play your strings in tune like you would normally, but then you also have to fret at the 12th fret and then see if that same string, like your E in this case, is in tune an octave higher. And if it's not, what you have to do is you have to get a screwdriver, and you'll see a little screw right here. You have to turn that to move this little saddle either that way or this way to make sure the octave is also in tune. Not just when it's open, but also at the octave. And what that's going to do is that's going to make your guitar in tune all the way up the fretboard. So when you're playing up here and when you're playing down here, no problem, it's all in tune. But the design flaw in this guitar on the bridge is it's impossible to set the intonation unless you get a pair of wire cutters and you do a little fix. So when I got my guitar out and I was trying to set it up, I actually could not move this bridge post far enough this way to get the octave E in tune, and I could not figure out why. The reason is the spring that they put on the little screw that's in here, it's actually too long, and it prevents you from being able to move the saddle as far as it needs to go to put the guitar in tune, to set the intonation correctly. So what you have to do is you actually have to take the bridge off, and then you have to take the springs out. I had to take the springs out that are on the screw in front of the saddles on the low E string, the A string, and the D string. I believe the G, the B, and the E were fine. So I took the spring out, and first I just tried it with no spring because I looked at my Gibson bridges and they don't have springs at all in them. So I was like, why do I need this? But that's actually not the way this bridge works. Unfortunately, you have to have the spring in there because if you turn the screw and move this post too far this way and you need to back it up, well, it won't go back when you turn the screw the other way like it would on a Gibson. So you actually have to have a spring in there. So what I did was I got a pair of wire cutters and I cut 2/3 of the spring off, and then I put it back in, and then I was able to move it where it needed to go to set the intonation correctly. And voila! My guitar was perfectly in tune. So it's kind of perplexing that the guitar was not tested in this way. Like, you should be able to set this bridge correctly in regular standard E tuning. So while I marvel over the guitar, I mean, the fretboard, the quality of the fretboard is phenomenal for the price. And active pickups, I mean, I think I paid $175 for this guitar, brand new from Thomann. I was just blown away. It sounds great. It feels great. The stainless steel frets, you're never going to have to get those refretted. It's an amazing guitar, but it is weird that you couldn't do something very basic and important to functionality like set the intonation. because if you can't set that, there's no way I'm playing live with this thing. But I was able to get mine up and running with a simple pair of pliers. I'm gonna make a separate video reviewing this guitar, playing it live, playing it with some different distortions to let you see what it sounds like and kind of show you some of the finish flaws just so you can know what to expect, because they did cut back on some areas of the guitar. So I hope that you are able to get your Harley Benton tuned up and working. Let me know what you think of this guitar in the comments, if you've run into any other issues, and if you get stuck trying to fix your guitar, because I'm sure me or some other people out there can help you get your guitar up and running, set the intonation. That's all. If you want to see my review in a week or so, it will be up on my YouTube channel, so check that out and we'll see what this baby sounds like. We'll see you next time.